Welcome to Meet the Human podcast, second episode in 2026. And I have been very busy, but now we are back. We're back, and we have the new episode 15 in our series, Meeting the Human Alvin, my friend Alvin in Singapore. Very interesting, as usual, for me to understand culture, understand the way of thinking. Singapore is a very interesting place where there's a lot of cultures mixed, living together in complete peace and harmony and progress. It's quite of a society and unique, I think, in the world. Alvin belongs to that society for a few generations in his family, and it is great to hear about his thoughts about culture being in Singapore, and again, how AI is coming into our lives and into also his particular life, and how things are shaping up. So thank you for being there. We are back in 2026 with my friend Alvin from Singapore. Let's go and meet Alvin. Let's go.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Singapore is very hot. I wish it was like Spain, but Spain is also very hot.
Singapore is Singapore. Singapore is Singapore.
Singapore will always be Singapore.
Welcome to Human 21 podcast, Meet the Human. Well, this is the first recording in 2026. That has been a crazy year. I don't know you, Alvin, but for me, it's been so crazy, and I can't believe it's already mid-April.
Yeah.
And this is my first recording, okay? And I am again in the beautiful city of Singapore, where Alvin lives. So I will introduce you to Alvin very quickly, and he will let us all know who he is. I know him since 2012, because I came here in 2012.
Yeah.
That is a good 14 years ago, which is incredible, yeah. And I believe he's a very high caliber human being, so he's on the podcast. But I don't know what you believe.
Muchas gracias.
Alvin, tell us about yourself, who you are, your background, a little bit of a go bit back in time in your life, and then bring us into your today's you, and let's meet Alvin.
Thank you. Nice to be here. Thank you, Luis. My name is Alvin Lee. If you're going to add my Chinese name, it's Li Chongyi. That's the Hokkien pronunciation of Zhang Yi, Li Zhang Yi. So I'm from a part, well, my grandfather was from a place in southern China, province of Fujian, Hokkien.
Oh, yeah.
The place in that province is called Yongchun or Engchun, and the village is called Sheqian or Xiajian. So that's my grandfather. I've never been to that part of China. I've never been to southern China anyway. But my dad recently went there to visit his cousin, who's the same age as him, 94, and is still around. So that's where my father is from, or my grandfather is from. My father was born in Malacca. So I'm third generation Singaporean, Chinese. Born here, grown up here. I went to school in the States, in Boston, for 3.5 years. Best years of my life. Forever grateful to my father for sending me there. Did film and TV. And came back and started working. That's pretty much it. If you want to ask more about any of that, go ahead.
Your time in Boston, what age was that?
When I was in Boston, 1997 to 2000. So I was 23 and a half until I was just about 27.
Oh, and what kind of studies did you do there?
I did film and television.
Oh,
That's what I always wanted to do, but my grades were not so good enough to do it in Singapore at that time. It was a very popular course. So I did my diploma in Polytechnic in business. Then I served national service, which is 2.5 years in Singapore.
3.5?
2.5.
2.5.
Yeah. And then I went to States for my undergrad.
Yeah. And when you were describing your where you're coming from, you're using two languages, right?
Yes, I was speaking in Mandarin, the language that's spoken across China, and of course, then that's the local dialect of where I'm from, which is a lot of Singaporean Chinese, my generation, my age, would know how to speak. Some better than others, but a lot of us would be able to speak that dialect. In the same way, people in Hong Kong speak Cantonese, people in Singapore would speak Hokkien.
Oh, okay. So which is is different than the South China language then?
Cantonese is also a Southern Chinese dialect, and basically the place where they speak Cantonese is next door to my ancestors' place.
Wow. Yeah, well, I live in Hong Kong now, and I am fascinated by. I think somebody said, I was in China 10 days ago, and somebody said there are 34 languages in China. I mean, like 34 variation dialects, or
probably more than that,
or maybe more,
or hundreds, I would think.
Yeah. Wow. So then, in your home, which language was the?
When I was growing up, I would speak Hokkien with my dad, my mom. I would speak that with most of my siblings as well. But as we got older, it was more English than that. So, and now I would speak English with my siblings. I'm the youngest, so all my older brother and sister, they all speak English. We speak English to each other. But if we need to, we can speak it our Hokkien, our dialect, and we speak it among ourselves with my dad, so everybody knows what everyone's talking about. So growing up, Hokkien and English. There was no Mandarin. We don't really speak Mandarin. And also sign language because my brother is deaf.
And Mandarin is something you then studied in school?
We studied in school, yes, in Singapore still. Back then, now still as well. 6 years in primary school, elementary school, 4 years in secondary school. So that's 10 years minimum.
And this is mandatory in Singapore?
Yes, if you're Chinese, you do Chinese as your mother tongue. If you're Malay, if you're Indian, then you have your own mother tongues.
So then people go to school depending on where you come from, so you can...
everybody does your math, your science, your history, everything's in English, but then you also have mother tongue where you learn...
and the mother tongue depends on where you come from, divided into...
Your race, basically.
Into your, Oh, interesting. And when you... okay, maybe it's a funny question, but when people are born in England or any other country, let's say, through language, you get the culture also through language. Language is culture.
Yes.
Would you say you have two cultures, or would you say one is more predominant than the other, or if so, which one?
Yes, one is more dominant than the other, absolutely, yes. Because in Singapore, as anybody who is from another country who has come to Singapore would realize, everybody speaks English to vary levels of proficiency. So the main cultural references isn't necessarily English. It's more like a mixture of how Singapore has developed. So it's a melting pot. It's not a salad, it really is a melting pot where Chinese folks here speak a bit of Malay, the Malay folks speak some Chinese, sometimes some Tamil as well, which is like all the different racial languages. And sometimes new words get invented that is not from any of the 3 or 4 multiple races here. So it's like specific that those words are understood only within Singapore. So the cultural references isn't necessarily just English, Chinese, or Malay. It's more like a Singaporean. It's a mixture of everything. So but of course, someone who is a Singaporean Chinese would be more familiar with things like Chinese New Year. You give your red packet for your Chinese New Year, right? And money. I'm sure you've seen it in Hong Kong as well.
Yeah.
And people who are in the Malay community, in the Muslim community, they will give a green packet, not a red packet. So it's a different thing. And what they wear, and the things they refer to, the food that they eat. And of course, the Muslims will go to mosque on Friday, and Singaporean Chinese would have been to school, and they would see some of the classmates go to the mosque in the middle of school and come back. So those are the kind of cultural references we see that, we understand, and we know that their cultural references are different. So it's different groups have different references.
Yeah. But in your particular case, which culture would you say that is predominant for you?
Because of where I went to school, a bit of American, but because Singapore was a British colony, so a bit British. Chinese, of course, because that's what I grew up with, the food that I eat, the food that my mom made. She's a great cook. The things that we do, how we talk to our parents, how we talk to our relatives, how we address them. Because anybody says uncle and auntie, right? It's your father's sibling, it's your mother's sibling, uncle, auntie. But in Chinese, you have to call them in a certain way. If it's your brother's father, your father's brother, you call it a different way from your mother's brother. And also, if it's your father's older brother, you call it differently from your father's younger brother. Same thing for sister. Same thing from your mother's side. So these are the things. So those are my cultural references. I still call them, for example, if it's my mother's older sister, we call Yi. If it's my father's older sister, we call Go. So it's a different word. And for it's my father's older brother, we call Bei. Younger brother, we call Zhe. So by what they call someone, you know, oh, this person is the father's younger brother or older brother and all that. So that's kind of the reference. So what culture am I? Many. Of course, and of course, the food I eat, Malay food as well, Indian food as well. And that's, so therefore the whole thing of what constitutes Singaporean culture. So British, American, Chinese, and Singaporean. But there are lots of others.
Wow, it's crazy. I never thought about this question, asking this to anybody, but suddenly I came across it. It's a very peculiar place. It's a very unique place, Singapore.
Yeah.
Also the mix of everybody living together in such a small place,
Yes.
with such a profound respect for everything, everybody, and in peace. Well, this is what I see anyway. It's very remarkable. It's a very remarkable case in the world. Yeah, I hope it stays like this forever. That is not distorted in any way.
Well, no place lasts forever, unfortunately.
Well,
yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, exactly. And it's a young history anyway. But anyway, let's see. Let's. I hope it keeps like this. So I don't know. I feel like so your all your obviously your Chinese knowledge that you have demonstrated just before. This comes from home, right?
Yes.
Not from school.
Home, a bit of school. They teach it in school as well.
Ah.
Yeah. Of course, they still teach that in school these days, but because of the dominance of English, the use of English, a lot of Singaporean Chinese kids don't really understand. They don't think it's cool. They think it's so boring. So they don't want to do it. They don't want to be seen to speak Chinese, that kind of thing. But they would love to speak Korean because K-pop and BTS and Blackpink is cool. Until China can create something equivalent.
Equally cool.
Yeah, it's very difficult for them to speak Chinese. I find it cool to speak Chinese.
I understand. Yeah, one of my friends, Japanese, his daughter is learning Korean for that same reason.
There you go.
So it's just
Soft power.
Very powerful. But thank you, Robin. Very interesting. So because then I ask people about how would you define humanity? What is humanity for you? And suddenly I don't know what you're going to say, but you have so many variations of cultures in you and around you. And how would you define it? Is there a definition that you can give us or a concept of
Humanity?
Of humanity?
Collection of emotions.
Oh,
If no other way to express it, humanity is a collection of emotions, and how that changes people and how that changes the course of history. Yeah, I think that's in a nutshell. Yeah, humans are about emotions and the things that they do, and things change. Yeah, that's at the base.
so then if you apply that to all the many types of subcultures you have in you, that clicks for each one of them, right?
It's not even specific to whichever cultures. For example, if someone's happy or someone is angry, someone has regret, someone wants to make someone who's jealous, envious. So all these things, they drive humans. So if a person is kind of looks at someone who's very rich or doing very well, they go like, it's okay. I don't have to drive a Ferrari. I don't have to live in a very nice house. It's okay. Then they are where they are. And then there is someone who's very envious and say, oh, she's doing so well. I need to work more. I need to do more business. But of course, one choice, you get something, you give up something. You want to work more, you got no time for your family. You want to do a business, yes, you might make a lot more money, but you might also go bankrupt. So how you feel, how you act, then changes the storyline for your children, your family, and people around you. Of course, if you're happy, then you just let it go, it's fine. Or if someone makes you angry, it's like, let it go, I'm not going to fight you. But of course, you go, oh, you're angry, oh, I'm not going to fight you. And then you do something, and then that changes what happens down the road as well. So I think that's, of course, different cultures have different ways of adjusting to this. Some cultures are a bit more, I don't know, more accommodating. They're not so hard driving, or they are not so, they don't hold to grudges. I'm not saying you can't judge one culture by one person or two. It's not like, oh, this culture is like this one's different. Everybody feels the same thing, but sometimes you just feel like, oh, why does this person behave this way? Oh, they're from that part of the world. Maybe they handle things that way. Humanity. Or maybe this part of the world, why does, really, you let that go? You don't want to fight him? It's like, maybe people in this part of the world go like, that's okay. It's no big deal. So, yeah, kind of how I look at it.
Well, thank you. Yeah. So when you think about values, then values, I think values are associated to culture, associated to background education. Maybe values changes from person to person or from family to family. Maybe from country, let's say culture to culture. Must be something that is maybe equally good for everybody globally. So I ask this question just to find out, especially for yourself, what are those? Everybody has values, but what are the ones that maybe for you are more significant? For whichever reason you think these are very cornerstones of what people should be.
Compassion. Compassion above all. because you never know what someone else is going through. So compassion first, be kind, be compassionate. Be responsible for yourself. Yeah. Everybody has a choice. Can't blame external forces. Everybody has a choice, even if it's a very difficult choice. When someone says, I have no choice, it's not necessarily true. You just don't like the choice, the consequences of that choice. So it's, I got no choice. But no, you have a choice. You just don't like what happens if you take that choice. That's when you say I have no choice. So be compassionate, be responsible. Anything else? I like to say also, try to leave the world in a better place, leave the world with more happiness than when you came into it. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah.
More happiness around you, you mean?
As much as you can. If you could, just have more happiness within your immediate surroundings. And if you can, wherever you go, just leave people in a happier place than when you met them. I think that is as good a thing as you can do as a human being, instead of leaving people in an unhappier place or unhappier frame of mind than when you first met them. I think that's...
And what do you think makes you choose these particular 3 values?
Humans can be cruel. Sometimes people know that it's, if I were to do a certain action, you might suffer, but as a consequence of you suffer, I might actually benefit. So, and that's when they go like, should I? Should I not? And sometimes people just, you know what, I need to do what's good for me. And that becomes, unfortunately, the way of the world. Just like, you know, how countries can be sometimes. Yes, I know this big pile of gold or cobalt for making iPhones or whatever, or water. Yes, it's important, but often they don't think about sharing. They think about, it's mine, it's not yours. I can't let you have it, because if you have it, I don't. Why don't they just share? So a lot, especially the way the world is these days, you know, with the person in the White House and all that. If he knows how to share, I think the world will be a bit better place, as well as generally speaking, because I'm sure human history has a lot of examples of people not sharing. As a result, you get war and all that. Just learn to share, compassionate. So history informs a lot of what I look at and how human nature is. So compassion, choice. What's the other one I said? I forgot.
Responsible.
Oh yes, responsible. Yeah, because you can't. If you can't affect, you can't change what other people think. Well, you can control what you think. You can control what you do. So do what you can and leave someone or leave something in a better place and happier place than when you found it. And that's, I think, realistically all someone can do. Yeah.
You think these values came from your own self-reflection and how you want to be, or do you think this is coming from your background, family? Is there a history that in your family, in the way you've been educated, that, or is it something that you have developed yourself out of a personal reflection experience?
Quite a bit, just personal reflection. Yeah, of course I've done things and look at my own mistakes, of course, and think, okay, could have done it differently. And then I get I have to deal with whatever problems. For example, when I was much younger, didn't make much money. The first job, used to work in TV, they don't pay very well. So
Here in Singapore?
oh yeah. we can go down those stuff later. Don't pay very well, but as a young person, you want to kind of like have fun, do other things, buy other things that that I can't afford. So credit card debt was what I got into for a long time. So I was just paying the interest and basically not having enough. So for like 3, 4, 5 years, that was what I had to deal with. So mistake learned, a mistake made, lesson learned. Okay, if I can't afford it, just don't do it. Initially, as a young person, you want to impress, you want to look successful, you want to do what people do, and then I don't have the money. So I end up paying, find out that I did pay it off, but the lesson I learned was, you don't have it, then just don't do it. As I get older, as I got older, I go, does it really matter what people think? Does it matter how rich I think I want people to think I am? It doesn't matter. What does matter, if I'm healthy, I'm happy, I'm not hurting anybody, and generally positive, net positive, if you will. And then that's good enough. So that's one of the things I learned. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. And, normally I ask my guests if they can volunteer a story.
Yeah.
That sometimes it's very difficult to talk about something you have done that's been great and has created something positive.
Yeah.
But I think it's very helpful and healthy if you could.
Yeah.
If you could share some story that maybe represents the implementation of your great values and for a positive outcome.
So this will be, as a parent, will be the thing, and I find it sometimes difficult. I find myself almost leaving the place or the person in a worse situation or an unhappy situation when I found it. For example, my son, Blake, can be a challenging child, just like almost any parent dealing with a teenager can be a challenging child. He's always been quite an emotional child. So sometimes I find myself, so why am I yelling at him? Why am I doing these things? Why am I saying these things to him? Why? It doesn't match what I want to be, which is like leave things or leave people in a better state or a happier state than when around them. So it bugs me very often. So I constantly tell myself, I have to watch what I say and make myself peaceful before I talk to him. Even when he's doing things, I just go like, what are you doing? A lot of parents will understand. So I spoke to one of my colleagues who has a son and a daughter, same age as mine. So I was talking to her and she said, yesterday, I talked to my son, this is my friend, and she said, I asked him, what do you like about me as a parent and what do you not like about me as a parent? And then similarly, she would tell her son what she liked about him and what she didn't like about him. So they were kind of sharing and getting in touch again after fighting over all kinds of things. And so I tried it with my son and it worked. So we talked a little bit and he goes, well, when you're angry, you do this, it's just annoying. But when you're not angry, you're quite fun to be with. And I found it very nice to hear. I thought, okay, yeah, I know that. I mean, I know that already, but it's good to hear you say it to me. And so I said back to him, I don't like you about this, like throwing your socks and not showering and going to your room and AC and then just bad for your body and all that stuff. But I like you because you're kind, all that. So he said, okay. So we talked a bit. So that evening was very peaceful because I guess he felt heard. He wasn't being yelled at. He was being recognized. He was being seen instead of being yelled at all the time. So sometimes I think it's very important, certainly for parents, to pause, breathe, and look at themselves and go, okay, why is the child behaving like this? Yes, they may be being a typical teenager and very annoying, but try to see from their point of view, or what do they want? What would they want that would make them feel better, that they can behave in a way that would make you feel better? So this is one of the things that I sometimes think about and go, okay, how do I leave this situation in a better condition than when I found it? So for parents, it will be that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I can feel the exercise.
Thank you.
Wow, it sounds very challenging exercise.
Oh,
Very brave.
Which is why I used to have hair, but I have no hair now.
That's every one of us. That's really life. Yeah. We end up we degenerate. We end up dying and all these kind of things.
Yes,
you know? In a way, in a sense, or transitioning. Our energy transitions into some other phase.
Yes.
And maybe that's another subject.
If you talk to me in 10 more years, we'll see what happens.
Yes. Well, thank you, Arvin. Thank you for the story. Do you have any other example, maybe that are not so intensely related to family, maybe other part of your life that you think you have been applying your humanity, your values into situations?
It has to be what I do for fun, which you probably know. I like to cook. So that would be the responsible part and the improving part. I first learned to cook when I was about maybe 16, because my mom is a really good cook. So at about 16, I was going to Polytechnic, and I said, you know what, don't bother about leaving food, or because they operate a business. So my dad and my mom, they would go to the shop, and then shop's on the first floor. The second floor is where my mom would be cooking and cleaning and all that. My dad hired about maybe 4 or 5 people. It's a furniture shop. So lunch is covered. So my mom would be making lunch and laundry and all that, and then as well as dinner. So I told her, you know what? We have a separate place where it's just residence, no work. So after school, I would come back. I said, don't worry, I would learn to cook my own food. So just teach me how to cook. So she taught me a few basic dishes. So I started, and in the beginning it was just 2, 3 dishes. And looking back, I go like, I wouldn't want to eat that every day. So it's okay, it's edible, it wasn't very good. So keep trying something new. Fail, it's okay. Try again next time. Try again, learn new things. So, and I collect recipes and all that, just keep cooking. So, and food has become a way for me to communicate love to the people that I love, so cook for the kids. And when my wife is busy, Gran is busy with work, so I'm doing the cooking most of the time. So the kids will say, I want to eat this, and then I would handle that. So, and I find it very gratifying that I can feed my kids like proper food, and they're happy. I'm happy that they are happy, and the wife is not worried that the kids will not be eating well, because she knows they will be eating well, and they don't have to buy junk food. I don't feed them junk food. And they know the taste of home cooked food. So when they eat something on the outside, they know it's not good. They know, okay, this is not good. They're not going to eat it. So the taste buds are okay. They're not tuned to junk food. So that part, I am very grateful to my mother for inculcating in me what is food, what is home cooked food, what does it taste like, and the feeling of having food cooked for me at home. I think it's a very important thing that I've managed to get from my mother and pass to my children. Yeah.
Oh, lucky them. And good for you.
Thank you.
Both feel good factor,
Yeah.
both ways.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wonderful. How about work, like your activity that you do now?
Work. So what I do now is I'm a business case writer. If anybody who's not sure what that is, basically we study a company and how does company A innovate on the business model so that it sells more and make more products, make more profit than company B. So company A did this, and therefore, but how can they do more? So, and we would interview the CEO of the company and all that, and write a business case, and what is being taught would be basically what is being taught in like a business school, innovation course, and then they would show the case, that kind of thing. So that's what I do now, which is different from what I started as, which was film and TV. So constantly work has to change. So I have to change because I constantly learn new things. I suppose it's this day and age, right? You learn and unlearn and relearn. So I suppose that could be humanity too. It's just if you keep doing the same things, eventually, your business, your skills are not valuable, then you're out of job. So this is let me see. In the beginning was CNBC. After CNBC was ESPN, media, and then was INSEAD, and that was doing kind of web editing. And then from that, I moved to SMU. I was doing like an online journal. And then still at SMU, that changed, the journal fell out, and now I'm doing, so it's been like 3 or 4 different kinds of work that I'm doing. So adaptability would be the thing. Yeah. Being able to let go, being comfortable to say, okay, I don't know how to do this, but let's embrace it. Let's take it as someone is paying me to learn a new skill, instead of saying, I don't want to do this. So I said, fine, okay. And also being humble enough to say, I don't know. Can you teach me? And if someone is willing to teach, I said, thank you now, and I'll try to do a good job. So that would be kind of the main thing. If anything that I've learned would be, if I don't know, I say I don't know. If someone's willing to teach, I say thank you for teaching. Yeah.
I see. Good. Very good. Thank you, Robin.
Thank you.
Let me now go into this kind of end second part, and my podcast. Normally, always asking people about AI. So I'm interested always to think about. We spoke about humanity, human values. We apply them, but now we have this other type of intelligence coming up.
Yeah.
We call it artificial because we have created it, humans.
Yeah. Well, we didn't, but humans did.
Yeah. What is your opinion of AI?
Yes, AI is very broad. My opinion, it's helpful if you know how to use it. But it's also easy to let it it's easy to place too much importance on what it represents, which is something that humans can't do. Speed of calculation, speed of accumulating information, we can never beat them. And the ability to amalgamate, like Gen AI, to amalgamate all kinds of things, and then it's here. And it's very tempting to go, all right, AI knows everything. I will take what AI does as the truth. But then in the end, you kind of forget that AI simply is just an amalgamation of everything, of the training data. Whatever training data has been fed into it is the result of what it becomes. And its training data was based on human input. So I think it's easy, it's tempting to believe that what everything AI does is good, but it's not necessarily good or accurate at times. It does hallucinate, but it's useful if you know how to use it. For example, for my work, because I'm writing a business case, let's say company A claims it made $100,000 or whatever. I have to ask AI, okay, someone said this, can you point the original source? Can you point to the official company channel that said this? If I can find it, then okay, it's probably true. But if I can't, then you go like, okay, where did this come from? So it helps verify whether something is true or not. I think that's one thing that AI might be good. But like I said, it's easy to believe whatever they say without bothering to verify.
So you're really making use of it?
I do, just to, because I come across all kinds of things, and it's easy to just take one source and not check. So this speaks to what I used to do, which was in financial television. You can't just say, oh, a company made $5 billion. Okay, anybody can say that. You got to verify where's the source coming from, who said that, when did they say that. So you're going to go check, okay, is it multiple sources saying the same thing? Is it official sources? If it is that, okay, yes, you can say, okay, this was said by many people from this, okay, it's probably true. So, similar thing. Yeah.
And having a family as you told us, can you see an impact, or can you see evolution of impact in your family, in the way your children are educated, or how they are behaving because this tool is around them? I'm sure they are. I think probably children are also exposed to AI.
They know what is AI. Of course, the kids themselves talk about it. And even if I don't really let my kids have a phone, the older one has a phone, but it kind of broke down. But he only got a phone when he was 12 years old. The younger one still doesn't have a phone. But of course, there are lots of kids who have phones and they have all kinds of things and they come across AI and all that. Will it affect the way they are taught? Yes. I think the mechanical things like simple arithmetic, like your times table, 5 times 5 is 25 and all that, even if you don't know how to use it, you don't know your times table by heart, even if you do AI, what is it? They'll give it to you. All that is okay. You don't learn all that, it's okay. But there are other things that are more important, like some things AI just cannot replace. And those are the things that would be useful for a human. For example, AI cannot change, they cannot be a plumber. They can't change a tap, right? So,
not yet.
Not yet. I hope it never will. Because I read somewhere that says the value of humans, paradoxically, in the age of AI, is to do things that humans used to do even better. For example, now you don't need someone to be, let's say, calculating basic things, so AI can do it better. But there are some things, some tasks such as, what was it? Like coming up with a recipe. If you say, give me a recipe for, say, pasta carbonara or a Thanksgiving dinner, they might come up with all kinds of things by crawling through the web, and it says, okay, cook it this way. And there was an example, I think last year or the year before, a lot of people complained about the recipes that was produced by a certain app, a certain AI app, and the dinner was a disaster. So a professional chef was saying, oh yeah, no wonder this is all horrible. So for anyone to understand that that is horrible, you got to have the cooking skills in the first place. So unless you have the cooking skills, you cannot identify that this is wrong. So for humans to be useful in the age of AI, they need to know the human skills even better. Even though sometimes AI is eliminating some of these skills, the need for human skills, sometimes to have those skills is probably more important than having AI skills. So that was kind of how that research, that study, that's what I was trying to say. So to answer your question, how will AI affect my children? I think it will affect them, but I would think I will have to kind of guide them to say, yes, AI is important, but you have to remember what makes you human is not becoming AI, because you can never be that. So they need to understand that there are certain things like values, like you say, that you can do work with AI, if you will, but they are not AI. They shouldn't try to be AI. They try to be human. Yeah.
Yeah. It could help us to become more human.
Hope so.
I sometimes think I do have this feeling that it's an opportunity to focus on the human. Actually, this podcast in a way is pointing in that direction. So I love technology. I like AI. I like what it does. I think AI will one day will be always right, because we are teaching. I mean, if we teach AI properly, the models and so on, AI should end up knowing as much as we do on what is right or what is wrong, or if the teaching is done correctly, some AI will be there that actually kind of probably knows it all. But so then for us, it's very interesting to see, okay, what are we spending our life on? What is our focus?
Yeah.
And probably, goes back into values, behaviors, being human, and what do we do with it? How do we exploit that part of us when we know that so many other things are being done, taken care of by AI? That's a bit of where I am developing my reasoning, and hopefully through this podcast, through many episodes, we should be able to, through listen to many people. Everybody has a bit of a different idea, but I think that theme is more or less common thing behind everybody.
Agree.
Yeah.
Agree. Yeah.
At this point of the podcast, I ask you a question that was asked by the previous podcast person. So I will formulate this question to you. And you don't know what the question is. This is always a surprise. So maybe you need to think about it. And after that, I will ask you to formulate a question for my next guest. So now I will have to put you under test of this difficult question formulated by my previous podcast guest. And now I need to go and check what the question is, because it's very complex, and I just want to formulate this question properly. So just give me a sec.
Okay.
Give me a sec. So I brought Shakib to ask you the question live. So we'll listen to the question from Shakib for our next guest.
Well, I didn't really come prepared with questions, but if I had to ask one question, it would probably be, given where we are in the world today, what we see happening in the next 10 years with technology, artificial intelligence, what is that one particular study area that you would recommend future generation to focus on so they can continue to have meaningful careers even while artificial intelligence continues to grow and automate?
My first thought is education, specifically of children. If you understand how children's brain works, children's brains work, and you study how AI is affecting brains, especially young brains, then you will be in a position to influence or shape how humanity will develop. Because if they are taught in a certain way, their brains will develop in a certain way that will take advantage, possibly, or be more adaptable, or be more human, shall we say, in an age where AI appears to have overtaken humans. You can't be more AI than AI, but can AI be more human than humans? Don't think so. So if you teach children to understand what AI is, use AI instead of being, I don't know, eaten up by AI or being scared of AI, learn to live with them, I suppose. So, teaching children. Second, I've told you I like to cook, and I was saying that AI cannot change a toilet bowl or a tap yet. But I think even if they can, I think the last thing that I don't think they can, and I hope they never do, is the power of the human touch, physical touch. I don't think, and I hope AI never recreates that. Learn to connect with another person. Learn to connect with a human being as a human being. I think sometimes, because everything is mediated through a screen, people talk to each other through a phone, through a screen. The young people together, instead of talking to each other, they're chatting with each other on the phone. I find that very sad. So, learn to talk to people, like me and you having conversation. I think that's a lost art. People find it uncomfortable to sit down and talk because they would rather do this. So teach young children to work with AI, and secondly, lean in, to quote Sheryl Sandberg, lean in on being a human and connect with other humans. That would be my answer.
Thank you. Thank you for your answer. Thank you. So now it's your turn, Alvin. You think about a question that I will then ask our next guest.
Does it have to be about everything that we talk about here?
Anything you want, obviously, anything related to the last 40 minutes that we are talking. Yeah, but doesn't it be about AI or a question you would like, in the spirit of this podcast, you would like to formulate to the next person who I happen to know who she is, by the way. But you don't know this person.
Of course. Let me try to formulate this. How would you like the people that you love most to remember you?
Okay, good. Question formulated.
That would be my question.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Alvin.
Thank you, sir.
Very human question.
Thank you.
Very human question. Thank you, Alvin. Thank you so much. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. Actually,
Which is
Alvin and I talk about many things, including football. Because
Atlético de Madrid!
he didn't mention, but his culture of football is very high because of previous experiences in your life. So it's very funny to be in Singapore, so far away from, let's say, my hometown, and find someone who knows so much about my football team in Madrid, Spain.
Metropolitano.
You see, he knows. He's quite correct so far. So anyway, so thank you, Alvin. The world is very small, and we're all humans.
Yes.
Thank you so much for coming to our podcast.
Pleasure's all mine.
And it was a pleasure. And to everyone there, it's just this is the comeback, 2026. We'll try to catch momentum now. I'll have another podcast coming up also soon. After this one, it will be probably also from Singapore. So I'll see you at the next episode. Thank you so much. Goodbye for now.
Maybe we'll do my podcast. How do you meet the human part 2?
Yeah, meet the crazy guy who's doing this. Me.